here and try to pull up a graphic for a moment. Balin, if you want to talk on some of the storm safety for just a moment, this is what you should be doing with the tornado warning.
Yeah, you're going to want to definitely get to the lowest level of any structure that you're going to want to be on. If you have 2 stories on your home, that is going to be the worst place. You don't want to be on that 2nd story, and if you have it, definitely don't want to be on the 3rd story. The very best place would actually be underground, but given our land here, most of us don't have any storm cellars or anything like that. So the very best place, get to the lowest level in the most interior room. You don't want to be on any exterior walls, and you also don't want to have any sort of windows in that room as well. And when you're going to that safe place, you're going to want make sure you wear shoes. You don't want to be barefoot. Take any pets with you, and also cover your head. Maybe you have a little mattress, maybe you have a hard hat, a hat, something to protect you in case you have falling debris on your area. So if you just now got issued a tornado warning in Wilkinson County and Amite County, maybe your phone went off, maybe you have a NOAA weather radio and that is going off as well, you were under that tornado warning and you were under the gun for a potential tornado. And given the environment today, you're going to want to take it very seriously. And Malcolm, if you could pull up that radar for me once again on this tornado warning, going to get an update on exactly what this storm is doing, see if it's maybe intensifying a little bit, if it's getting a little bit better organized as well. So there is that tornado warning just across the state line there in southern Mississippi. Zooming in here, we're going to get a little bit of a tighter view, see if it maybe has some rotation embedded within it. And even with this view, you can clearly see that comma shape that Malcolm Byron was talking about, and that is physically indicating that this storm is rotating. This rain physically rotating around this area, and that is why the storm structure is taking on this little comma shape, because, like I said, the storm is physically rotating. Now we're going to look at the storm winds, and this actually gives us an idea, or a better look. There it is. Definitely
yeah, that's really tightened up.
Tightening up in rotation. So what has happened here, you've seen those winds going away from the radar. The speeds have begun to increase, and especially this area right here, that is winds blowing towards the radar. Those wind speeds have started to increase as well. So this has given us an idea that we could potentially be imminent for a tornado on the ground. Don't have confirmation if it's on the ground yet, but if you're in this warning polygon, you need to be prepared. Crosby, Gloucester, especially in between, that is where that rotation is going to be headed. It's going to get very close to you, Crosby. That's why if you're in these areas, you need to take this seriously. The environment today, very supportive for not only tornadoes, but strong tornadoes. There's a potential that any tornadoes that happen today will be on the stronger side, greater than just EF2. And this is not only might provide roof damage, these stronger tornadoes could completely destroy homes. That is the potential with these storms today, and that's why you don't want to completely ignore tornado warnings. You might have done so in the past. You don't want to do that today. Yeah. So check out this rotation, definitely increasing. It
is increasing, and we really want to call to action the communities of Gloucester and Crosby. You need to be in your tornado shelters right now, and if you're not already, the time is running out to do so. So that's where the area of rotation is right now. You see that bright red splotch right now next to that area of blue? Clearly an area of rotation in eastern Wilkinson County. It is about to cross the county line, so this is soon going to be only an Amite County problem. Anywhere near Crosby or Gloucester, you got to be in your tornado shelter. So if you are watching us right now, that is what we want you to do. If you know anybody out in that direction, they may not be aware that the dangerous weather is incoming. We've been preaching that for the last couple of days. Have many ways to receive weather alerts, and frankly, one of them is family and friends. So if you have family and friends in the region, we would advise you to give them a call. Here are other ways you can receive weather alerts. We're on air right now, of course, but the free Storm Station mobile app, because let's face it, we're covering a tornado warning right now in Mississippi, but there is a Louisiana threat as we go into the afternoon. That free mobile app will alert you to any additional warnings. Social media, also wireless emergency alerts. Balin, if we could, let's pull back up the radar perspective. Is that a new warning coming off the printer?
No, it just looks like, I think it might have been an extension to the watch. It doesn't look like we have a new one.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, that's the wide perspective, and that red polygon right there is the tornado warning for Amite and Wilkinson County, but the storms do extend across the state line into Louisiana. And that's the main action we're dealing with right now in the capital area. I'm hearing thunder right now outside the station. And look off to the west, too. There are more storms out in this direction. So once this line passes, we aren't necessarily done. I think we have to be on guard for strong to severe thunderstorms going through the afternoon. But again, at this time, we are covering the tornado warning in Amite and Wilkinson County, and the timestamp's listed right there until 11:15. So for about, what time is it right now? Let me look at the clock. 10:49, so about another 25 minutes or so, we will be watching this closely. So Gloucester, Crosby, you are under the gun right now from a potentially tornadic circulation. This is radar indicated right now. We're seeing the rotation on radar, and the potential is there with a thunderstorm like this to drop a tornado, but we have yet to see that ground truth. Balin, if you could you pull up the correlation coefficients, the debris tracker? I want to see if the radar is detecting any debris being lofted. And it does not look like it. That's good news. So this is a product that not only looks at whether or not rain is there or how it is moving, but it also looks at the shapes and sizes and how similar the objects are in this area. And wherever it sees similar objects, that would be raindrops. Closer to this end of the scale, the burgundies, when it catches debris, tornadic debris, those are different objects with different shapes, sizes, and orientations. You get closer to this end of the scale, these blues. So if we saw, let's say, a blue bullseye right there between Gloucester and Crosby, we'd be very concerned. We would have a confirmation of a tornado. We don't have that right now, which is a good thing, but still there is a very concerning area of rotation. We'll pull back up the velocity display just to see. Yeah, I mean, that's a really strong area of rotation right there that is about to move east, Balin.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It was kind of weak a little bit earlier ago, but it's definitely gotten a little bit stronger.
In fact, don't play the loop, but if you could just like take your mouse and just manually go back slowly, I just want to see how that played out going back in time.
Yeah, you can definitely see it.
Yeah,
really intense. It was very weak here, very broad, just east of Woodville. The winds blowing away from the radar started to increase a little bit when it was between Woodville and Centerville, and then now just west of Gloucester, you have really started to see those winds increase, and that's where we're really watching that area of rotation. So that's where we could potentially have a tornado on the ground.
Yeah, and the Weather Service, 1 minute ago in the chat room, they just said that they are closely monitoring the northern storm near Crosby and Gloucester. It's already warned. They're saying the rotation is really tightening up. So our friends at the National Weather Service, they are noticing the exact same thing that we are. This is a potentially dangerous situation. Actually, not potentially. This is a dangerous situation for communities near Crosby and Gloucester.
Yeah, and we just actually got a new scan here. Go back to that velocity real quick, Malcolm.
There it is. Wow, yeah.
Zooming in here. So we're seeing those winds away from the radar continuing to increase. Broad area of winds away from the radar. Where we could have a tornado is physically right where the winds away and the winds blowing towards are physically touching each other. That's where the physical tornado
Balin, I've got
born.
some roads up there if you want to call out some of the roads. If you live near these roads.
Yeah, of course. These areas is where you're up next. You see, that is Homachito Road. I know this area very well. I fish in this area, so I know these places. I drive through it all the time. Like Homachito Road, that is Cobb Road. You got another road here. What is that road name, Malcolm? Can't exactly see it there.
I see Homachito and Cobb Road.
Yeah,
Oh, Fox Road also. Very close to this circulation.
Yeah, so if I just mentioned your road and you live in Amite County, you are getting extremely close to this circulation, and it's not anything you want to play around with. It is time to take shelter.
And I'd argue with the current trajectory, this is becoming more of a Crosby issue.
Yeah, I would agree. It's very close. Look, eastern edges of Crosby, it's passing very close to that area, and right where those winds blowing towards the radar and away, right in that area, that's where that tornado would be. Pulling up radar here. Again, seeing that little bit of a hooking motion, and not really down here, but where the rotation is indicating is this little hook right in there. That will be where the most likely chance for a tornado would be located as this moves off towards the northeast.
And what's really concerning about this one is there are some campgrounds up there. And we've been talking about the severe weather threat for a couple of days now. And I hope nobody's camping up there, because that is a recipe for disaster. Sometimes you can lose cell signal out there. If you know anybody camping out there, please try to alert them, because this is a dangerous situation now in northwest Amite County. And I think right now we can probably give the all clear for this particular storm in Wilkinson County.
Yeah, I think Wilkinson County is completely through with this storm. It is completely exited, but northwestern portions of Amite County, you are definitely still under the gun for that tornado warning.
Correct.
We're watching for this to intensify. Potentially might be producing a tornado on the ground, but as of right now, it is only radar indicated.
Yeah, I'll read some of the National Weather Service bulletin here. Flying debris dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes damaged or destroyed. Mobile homes are not going to be safe today in these tornado warnings. Damage to roofs, windows, vehicles will likely occur. Tree damage is likely, and I mean that's pretty much the status quo if a tornado did indeed occur. And that's the potential right now in northwestern Amite County. So that's why we advise you be in the lowest level of your home, sturdy structure, interior room, as many walls between you and the outside of your home as possible, and get away from windows. All it takes is a little piece of debris to come through the window and you have flying shards of glass. So you want to put as much separation from the windows, try to get out of the same room if at all possible. Here's another point. Wear shoes. Have shoes on, because if you happen to walk through a debris field, if there were to be damage, you don't want to do it barefoot. Take your pets, cover your head too, take pillows, helmets. If you have like a bicycle helmet, maybe a baseball helmet, those can help as well. But these are the things we advise when a tornado warning is issued. Tornado watch is in effect all the way down to the I-10-12 corridor until 6 o'clock this evening, and it is what we call a PDS tornado watch, a particularly dangerous situation. Those are only about 5% of tornado watches from the Storm Prediction Center, almost like a little subclass of tornado watches, heightening or illustrating the heightened danger that these storms pose today. We have a highly energized atmosphere with a lot of wind shear that these storms can tap into, and these storms, once they do form, can rotate very easily, and that is what we are seeing in Amite County right now. There is that tornado watch. Notice, Assumption St. Mary Parish, you're not included. I would not be shocked if an additional tornado warning, or tornado watch rather, came out a little bit later on that did include those parishes. But for now, the Baton Rouge Metro is included within this tornado watch. Balin, if we could pull back up the conventional display, because I'm hearing thunder and lightning outside, and the folks in Baton Rouge may be wondering, okay, do we have a threat right now in the capital city? And we don't have any warnings. But if we could pull back up the level 2 radar data and zoom into the Baton Rouge Metro, I just want to see if there are any concerning areas that we need to keep an eye on. Of course, the National Weather Service will be doing that as well. If we could get a little bit closer to Baton Rouge there, pull up the live radar, the level 2. There we go. So we've got this line of thunderstorms right here producing lightning. If you could put the velocity scope over that, Balin, see if we can identify any areas of rotation right here in the Baton Rouge area. Make that a little bigger. You Control Z, you can take that off, and we can make that scope just a little bit bigger so you can see more area. There we go. That was a loud crack of thunder. I think we had a little power flash too here in the building. So yeah, I don't see any areas of rotation right now in the capital area, which is good, but you can hear all the lightning. You can hear how energized the atmosphere is. Let's go back up north, Balin. I want to see where that area of rotation is doing now in northwestern Amite County. Again, this was near Crosby. We can give the all clear now for eastern Wilkinson County. This was never a problem for Woodville. So if you're watching in Woodville and you're concerned, you don't need to be concerned, at least right now, but do have a way to receive weather alerts going into the afternoon as additional warnings are possible. If we could pull up the velocity display, I suspect pretty shortly, once we get a new update, this area of rotation is probably going to be across state lines, and we will be able to send it back to programming. We'll be gearing up to do that in a couple of minutes here if the threat moves out of the WBRZ coverage area. But again, we're still watching storms through the afternoon. I'm going to check the National Weather Service chat room for just a moment. Have you done that, Balin?
I haven't done it at this moment.
Okay.
But yeah,
let's see what's in there.
Still watching this storm. I know they did just say that these storms are definitely increasing in coverage and intensity throughout the rest of the viewing area, and these storms can intensify very, very quickly. So we're gonna have to stay extremely weather aware over the next few hours. The only storm that is extremely strong right now is in the extreme northwestern portions of Amite County, about to move out of our viewing area. Like Malcolm said, we'll send it back to regular programming here very shortly. But if another warning is issued, of course, we'll come back on air. So it is just east of Crosby at the moment. It is a pretty rural area, but still might be some homes out here. And if you live in this area, definitely care about you too. We don't want any sort of tornado hitting your house. Malcolm, if you can go back to velocity really quick and zoom in on this area. There it is. Yeah, it's a little bit delayed from that. We just got a new radar update, velocity data, a little bit delayed. I assume it's
this scans at 10:54, so it is taking a second for the data to get down the pipeline from the National Weather Service. So, you know, with the speed of about 40 miles per hour, there's a good chance that this is now across the state line. I just got a new reflectivity scan, or the conventional display, so the velocity scan will probably follow very shortly. Yeah, and you can see they just issued a new tornado warning
look
downstream.
At that, going to the north, and that's going to be out of our viewing area. So once we get that new scan of velocity, and we can confirm this is completely out of our area, we'll send it back to regular programming here. There it is at the very edge of Amite County. Still very strong winds flowing away from the radar. Just look at how strong that is. Malcolm, maybe take a look. You can see those winds there. And also, I just want to see how strong of winds that is blowing away from the radar.
Yeah,
it is far away from the radar, so a little bit higher up in the atmosphere, but you got 67 mile per hour winds, at least aloft, blowing away from the radar. Even maybe
almost
some
hurricane
spots,
force.
yeah, 70 moving away from the radar. And the thing is, as of right now, we got a lot of winds blowing into the storm, but we don't have a lot of winds blowing out of the storm. Yeah. That would be these little blue colors here. It looked like it was intensifying a little bit ago, but as of right now, still the rotation is a little bit on the weaker side. But with these type of events, this rotation could spin up just like that and spin up very quickly. So that's why if you live in the extreme northwestern portions of Amite County, you're really going to want to be on guard. But we are very close, at least for our viewing area, to giving the all clear for this storm.
Balin, I just want to mention this here because everybody knows somebody, and even though it's technically outside of the WBRZ coverage area, folks in Bude, Brookshaven, look out because this is a strong storm moving into an even more favorable environment. The atmosphere is very volatile here locally, but for our friends to the north and east, it is even more volatile. We've been talking about a level 5 out of 5 risk for severe weather in areas of Mississippi and Alabama. So if you know anybody along the Highway 84 corridor up in Mississippi, yep, there's that outlook that Balin just pulled up. So up in this area, the atmosphere is even more volatile. So if you know people up there, give them a call and make sure that they're safe. Balin, I wanted to pull up the local radar perspective, get back into the metro area because we're going to gear up to send it back to programming in just a moment. I just want to pass along a new statement from the National Weather Service. No severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the Baton Rouge Metro yet, but they did issue something called a special weather statement. The potential is there for 50-mile-per-hour winds and half-inch hail for parts of Ascension, West Baton Rouge, St. Helena, Livingston, East Feliciana, Iberville, Tangipahoa. I just listed off a bunch of parishes, but it's basically this whole area right here. Potential there for half-inch hail and winds up to 50 miles per hour. Severe weather criteria is 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. We're getting close to that criteria. These storms are intensifying. We will likely see additional warnings with time. So for now, it's just a special weather statement, but it would not surprise me if this got upgraded to, at the very least, a severe thunderstorm warning in the next 30 minutes or so. I believe right now the threat for the tornado warning in Amite County is moved out of the WBRZ coverage area. It has crossed over out of Amite County. So we're going to gear up to send it back to programming here momentarily. Balin, real quick, pull up the tornado watch. There is a tornado watch in effect for most of the capital area until 6 o'clock tonight. Potential is there for dangerous tornadoes, some of which could be strong, hail and high wind. We will be tracking the storms right here at the storm station. Balin, myself, and Chief Meteorologist Dr. Josh Eaches is providing updates online, and we'll jump in on air as needed if conditions warrant. So we'll continue to watch things back here at the storm station. That's our promise to you. For now, we're going to send it back to regular programming.
Now join our scheduled programming already in progress.
About 12 days ago, and so we like to monitor its growth once every 3 days.
Okay.
I'm going to move you.